Welcome to another episode of the Rhythm of the Road podcast. This podcast is not just about the journey, but also about the growth, transformation, and self-discovery that comes with life on the proverbial road. Grab a cup of joe, buckle up, and let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Let's get rolling.
All right. It's that special time of year. It's the end of the year. Actually, today is Christmas if you're listening to this on the day that it released, December 25th of 2023. Yes, that's episode number 11. Not only is 11 one of my favorite numbers, it's just a number that has resonated with me for a long time. And here's something else. I want you to think about this statement for just a moment, because if you can change the music, you can change your mind, and then you can change your life. Hear that one more time. Change your music, change your mind, change your life. Now, I know you're sitting there wondering, listening, thinking, reflecting on that, but I really want you to take it in and actually hear it. In previous episodes, we've talked about listening and actually listening to hear and to understand. We've talked about silence and what that means and what that can do for your day. But actually physically changing your music. And for the purposes of this discussion, I want to talk about just physically changing. What are you listening to? What are you taking in? Some of you might be not taking anything, which means you're taking in everything. You're listening to everything that's going on around you. You're not even paying attention to what maybe you could be listening to. For some of you, you're listening to a podcast or audiobook or news stations or talk radio, or maybe you're actually listening to a radio station. Or if you're driving the kids to school, maybe it's you're listening to whatever is keeping the kids quiet in the back of the car, or at least keeping the energy level down. Which brings me to exactly why changing your music is so important, because it can change that energy level. Our physical brain, the chemical makeup and the neurons that are firing in our brain physically change and ignite when we are listening to music. So if we can take that and change that music and give ourselves an opportunity to change the way our brain is hearing, listening, functioning, adapting, and firing, how is it that it couldn't change your life? It has to. It's almost by default, it's transforming you, because 50% of the known parts of our brain are igniting and exploding when we're listening to music. And that's just if we're listening passively. If we're listening with intention and we're listening to something that really gets us excited, it takes it even a step further, which is why, like, when you go to your favorite concert or you crank the radio in the car real loud, whether you take the windows down or not, doesn't matter. It's consuming you, and it physically is consuming you because it's consuming your brain, which is taking over a lot of the functionality and the thinking and all of those things, which is why it's so easy to just get lost in the moment when you're driving down that highway, or you're at that concert, or you're listening with your headphones on in a peaceful spot. Wherever it may be, that's exactly why it's taking you there. Having the ability to change that music, change what you're inputting, change what you're listening to, can physically change how that is affecting your brain and then ultimately what that is doing to your day. So do you want energy during the day? Do you want relaxation during the day? It doesn't mean that it's something cliche. You don't have to put on some Zen 400 hertz tone on YouTube to listen to kind of keep you at some sort of state of mind during the day. Sometimes it just needs to be something in the background. I prefer when I'm working in my office or I'm recording a podcast, like, I put light music on in the background. Now, you can't hear it right now, but there is music going on in the background because it keeps my person calm. And I know that, and it helps me, and it gives me more energy to give more energy back to you, the listener, the people who are watching, because that's important to me. Without that, it's like it doesn't light my brain up enough to give you what you deserve, because you're investing this time, you're taking this time to listen, to be part of what's going on here on the Rhythm of the Road podcast. So if you need to change something in your day, try to do something as simple as changing what you're listening to. And you are listening to something. And I know all of you looked at me or thought in your brain or put your eyes up in the air like, what am I actually listening to? You might have thought, like, I don't have anything on. There's not a radio on. I don't have Spotify stream. I don't have any streaming things going on. What are you talking about? If you're not having something that's intentional that you're listening to in those spaces, you are listening to something. You could be listening to the hum of your HVAC system. You could be listening to the hum of fluorescent lights or light bulbs in an office space. You might be listening to the crumple of paper or the people working across the room from you, or you could even be listening to the wind that's howling or moving on the outside of your dwelling. You're listening to something because your brain is always taking in auditory information. So be intentional about it. Pick that wisely. Experiment with it. I experiment with it all the time. There's a reason I found what feels good to me, like when I'm recording these podcasts. It gives me life, it gives me energy, it keeps me engaged, not only in myself, but in you. It makes it easier for me. If I want to get ramped up or chilled out, like I'm going to pick something different and I would use that. And it's not the same for everyone. So, like I was saying about the Zen music or the meditation type music, some people, meditation is listening to heavy metal or rap or classical music. For me, sometimes the meditation is things without words, that there's not somebody singing lyrics, because sometimes that is distracting to me, and not distracting in a bad way, but distracting in the fact that I feel responsible to listen and take in that information that that singer is delivering. That lyric was important. They wrote it for a reason. So as a listener, it's almost my responsibility to listen intently until you've listened enough times that it can be listened to passively. Now, I don't know what the exact number is for you, but when I listen to songs 50 to 60 times, I can stop listening with intent and I can just listen to enjoy, because I've listened enough times to hear all the parts, to understand how they all work together, and get the message of the song through the lyric and the energy that they created. Now, that's me thinking probably way more deeply than you were, because I'm a musician and that's how my brain works. And that's the life I've been living for the last 2 decades. However, you're going to get to a point where you can just listen to a song and just enjoy it for the song. I encourage you to start with those types of songs, that type of music, because that's going to be the easiest for you. And then try to find some that push you out of your comfort zone. Maybe a genre you thought you didn't like, or that you think is not cool or trashy, or insert whatever adjective you choose. All music has been created from the same 12 notes. All musicians and creators have the same sonic template and notes and tones and chords to work with and from. It's just a matter of how we choose to put it together as producers and writers and arrangers and creatives that makes it fit into different buckets of music. So I challenge you, if you truly want to change your mind, step out of that listening comfort zone. Step into a new space. Try something new for a while. I was speaking to a group of people last month and I posted the challenge to them: try for 30 days to listen to a song that you don't think you like and see what happened after that 30 days. Did you actually begin to like that song? Or did you continue to not like it? Or did it lead you down a path you could have never known? So if you can do that with just doing it with one song over 30 days, what could you do as you're listening to then pair that with changing something in your life or changing something in your business? Do that consistently for 30 days and then see how much you've changed, how much you've grown, and push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Because music is something we all can use, but it's so powerful that it's very easy to bring it into whatever space you need, whether it's you need help, you need encouragement, you need an escape. All of those things are possible, and they can all be done just through listening, which then changes your mind, which then will change your life. Thank you for taking the time to listen, to watch, to be part of the Rhythm of the Road podcast community. I really appreciate you. We're 11 episodes in and we're going strong. We're just finishing up the first quarter of this whole journey. So I'm grateful for that. I'm still here. You're still here. And make sure to throw a comment down below. Let me know which song you chose to listen to that you didn't like, and let me know how it went after 30 days. I'm going to come back here and check in 30 days on January 25th and see how many people have posted, because I know that some of you are listening today on Christmas Day. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week, and go change your mind and change your life.
Thanks for cruising with me on this episode of Rhythm of the Road. Remember, the journey itself is the destination. Until next time, keep the rhythm flowing, and we'll see you down the road.